Lead Well, Live Whole, the podcast where leadership meets life. Your host, Michael Sermon, is here to help you rise above the noise, lead with purpose, and live with clarity. Let's get to it.
Welcome back to Lead Well, Live Whole, the podcast where leadership meets life. I'm stoked today because we have a guest who defies categorization. All right. I've known Venn for several years. Venn is was an elite gymnast for the University of Oklahoma. You're an alternate for the U.S. Olympic team. You are a jiu-jitsu black belt, a mixed martial artist. You are a professional bull rider. You are a three-time a pender on American Ninja Warrior. And most recently, you are a professional stuntman in television and films.
Yep.
So this man, the world knows him. You all know him as the bull riding ninja, but I know him as Venn Johns. And Venn is a man who I think really personify what leadership is all about, because not afraid of the challenge, not afraid of stepping back and evaluating, reinventing yourself. Right. You do have a skill set in cybersecurity and IT, right? Which you bring that into play in what you're doing. And, you know, I've just been proud to call you my friend all these years. In fact, every time I'd see you on TV, I'd say, hey, I know that guy. He wouldn't know me from Jack, but I know that guy.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Venn, thank you for coming on and being with us today, because this is really kind of exciting.
Right on.
So
appreciate you guys wanting to have me. I kind of just go through life just doing, and I don't usually take a step back and kind of just think about things I've done or, anything like that. So it's kind of nice to have people that are like, hey, let's talk about that.
Well, it's humbling when you start listing everything out, right? And especially when somebody else lists them out, because I know when I go to events and stuff and they start listing all this, I'm like, I don't know who that guy is.
Right. I know. I'm the worst about that too. It's like, what do you do? I'm like, I do a lot of things. I mean, I don't say I'm this or that. I mean, it's just, I just like to do stuff.
So one of the books I brought you that I wrote, it's called The Superpower of Mediocrity.
Okay.
And it's really not about being mediocre, but it is about being good at a lot of different things.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Not an expert of anything, but good about a lot of different things. I actually call it strategic range.
Okay.
Right, being able to exercise and move in and step in, and that's kind of what you employ.
It is pretty ironic that you put it like that, and it's almost not chameleon effect, but it's like you can, like we talked about earlier. I can talk to a CEO, right, and I can talk to a person on the street, just the same. I give them the same respect that all that stuff. It's just not something that everybody can do, and I don't understand that really, because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm that smart. It's like, how do I know how to talk to people? But it is like you said, because I've taken action on things that I want to do, and I've learned over the years just different things, and those have translated into the next thing.
Right. So what you are, those authentic. Right?
Yeah.
Because you are who you are. Yeah. No matter where I've seen you have been you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the impressive part, because so many of us really take that chameleon to heart, and we try to be different people where we are.
True. Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to do that. Right. So what you see is what you get. I'm just as whatever you call it.
Yeah.
If you think I'm a butt at work, I'm a butt at home.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a good guy.
That's right.
But just know, if you think I am that, I don't do it on purpose.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean, like you said, I mean, I know, like, terminology from certain areas. Yeah. And so there's only probably 4 or 5 different things that I might step up and say something opposite of what someone else said. Right. Because just like you're talking about, I might be a jack of a lot of trades, but there's only a couple that I feel like I am an expert in. Yeah. This is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I remember, I knew from talking to you that you had been in gymnastics. I knew that you were probably pretty good because you were the alternate for the Olympic team. But I didn't realize how good you were until I started watching you on Ninja Warrior. And seeing, and I know that's not true gymnastics, but there's a lot of the same elements that are there.
Absolutely.
Right. Just that raw strength.
Yeah.
That's required.
You know, that's funny that with my old gymnastics friends, you know, everybody likes American Ninja Warrior because you don't get judged on your form.
Right.
It's just complete the obstacle.
Yeah.
And
keep your feet out of the water.
yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like all your life, especially in a lot of the things that I've done, you're judged.
Yeah.
You know, we're judged constantly, whether it's on purpose or accident, or you know, we're competing.
Right.
And so that has a lot to do with, you know, my life and stuff too. But American Ninja Warrior was fun because I wasn't judged. You just do it.
But you say that, but you were, and I know you were, because my article this morning, I do a daily blog, right, for my writers thing, my authors page, and on it this morning was silencing that inner critic.
Oh yeah.
Right. That constant evaluation, constant drive to be better than you were yesterday, better than you were last time that you attempted it. Yeah. Right. Which is one of the things really that drives someone who is a world-class athlete. Right. No matter what it may be. Right. You know, we forgot about your music. We forgot about talking.
Oh yeah. That's
didn't we? Yeah.
Right.
So your father passed away when you were young, adopted by your grandparents.
Yeah.
How much older were they?
They were pretty young, to be honest. I mean, they have both since passed also, but they were in their, I want to say late 40s, early 50s. You know, they were pretty young.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I don't know how they did it. They had 3 jobs apiece.
Wow.
They took care of me. There was always food on the table.
Right.
You know, like home cooked meals were like, now everybody laughs at me because it's like I've been here for 8 years and I've never used the oven.
Really? That's funny.
But I'm used to home cooked meals, you know, from grandma. And you know, they were amazing people. And, you know, like I said, they did everything in their power to make sure that I got what I needed, you know, reach my goals.
The most important thing you get as a kid, other than the normal food, shelter, and all that, is a sense of identity. Right.
Yeah.
I know my dad left when I was 2. So I spent a lot of years chasing positions and titles and things, trying to build that identity. And I never felt complete until I realized none of that mattered.
Right. Makes sense.
So being raised by the grandparents who worked 3 jobs each, obviously very busy, and I doubt you were a sit-at-home kind of kid anyway.
No.
How did that impact your identity growing up?
In the beginning, I didn't realize it was creating the identity.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, I was actually, I don't know if they didn't trust me or if they didn't trust them or the people around us or whatever, but I always had to go to a daycare center.
Right.
Even at like all the way up until I was, you know, 10, 11 years old, I was still going to a daycare center during the day when they, like in summer, right?
Right.
And that summer program, they would take us to different activities.
Right.
Swimming, roller skating, etc. And gymnastics and karate were 2 of the activities, and I loved them both.
Right.
I don't know what it was about them that I loved so much, but I loved them, and I wanted to do both of them, and they said, you have to do.
Yeah.
Well, the coach for the gymnastics program, whatever he said to me just clicked.
Right.
I mean, I think part of it was he gave me the, like it was like he didn't know me, but he already had like faith in me.
Right.
And his ability to like make me feel good about myself was something that really resonated with me at an early age. And so, you know, they said, you got to pick one or the other. And I'm like, well, this guy he already thinks that I can be good.
Right.
Like he's already said, like, you've got talent and you know, you just need some training and, you know, we can help you with that. So I'm like, oh, well, I don't know why, but that makes sense. And so I picked gymnastics and that coach, I mean, he's the one that sent me on my trajectory to where I'm at now.
Right. Well, we know it's cliche, and I've said it several times, and I apologize for saying it again, is people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that same kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I think that was the thing really when we first met, and you were IT guy at the company I worked for, and you know that interaction, and we didn't know each other from Jack, but we could have great conversations just passing in the hallway. Now, we're fortunate that you or I, neither one have met a stranger.
Right.
So we can have that conversation.
No
doubt. But even when you were challenged in something, you never got defensive. You kind of just stepped back, took a deep breath. We'll figure this out. And we had a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Because we were a growing company. We were transitioning to a lot of things. And
it was important stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it wasn't just like, oh, we're making some cookies.
Right.
Or some mail outs or something. I mean, it's pretty important stuff.
The aircraft is down and then you're skinned.
Yeah.
We need this stuff. Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stuff. So, but yeah.
Okay. So when did you know there was something special about you in gymnastics? Or did you ever? Or is it just something that you did?
I really don't know that I mean, even to this day, I look back at, unfortunately, I don't have very many videos of my career in gymnastics. The few that I do have, I'm still so critical.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how could I be on the national team and look like that? How did I, so I really don't think that I thought I was necessarily special. It just, that inner talk, the self-talk, the things that I learned at the Olympic Training Center, the things that I was taught from my original coach, it was, you just have to be better than you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm always competing with me.
Right.
Like, yeah, we have a team and we might be competing against Russia, we want to win or whatever. But it was just like, everything to me is kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
And not in like a bad way, but it's like, if it takes me 5 steps to get up my stairs today, well, tomorrow I might feel froggy and I want to do it in 4.
Yeah.
Just like little things that don't really matter, but like mentally and internally they do matter. And that's, I think, a lot of what builds self-confidence.
Right.
Even.
That's true.
So it's just a thing that I've done my whole life, and trying to be not just like the 1% better than I was yesterday kind of thing, but just like, because you can't always climb.
Right.
There has to be a plateau in everything.
I agree.
I mean, if you just completely, if everything is just always on the up, and you never have anything that plateaus or anything that goes, below or down or negative or have to deal with any of that stuff, then I don't think you're as good as you can be.
I agree with that. So, one of the things I was talking with a gentleman about earlier today was really just that path of learning, right? We were talking about the path of faith, right? When you believe and you move it. But I told him, I said, really, learning's the same way, right? You start off and you don't know anything, but you're very energetic. So you jump in and you push it, and then you go and you're the best you could be at that. Well, then the next challenge comes and suddenly you're back down to the bottom again.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm hearing you talk about, right? You never actually get up here where you're there, because you may be number 1 in the world.
Right.
But you're still chasing you. Right.
Yep.
So you competed in high school?
It was in high school, but the program that I was in was a private.
Okay.
Was private. So it wasn't through school. Right. Technically.
Okay.
Which is pretty wild, because we were able to go to the board and the superintendents and stuff of Bixby.
Right.
And they actually allowed me to use my 1st and 6th hour as an elective.
Okay.
But let it be gymnastics, because I was training for the Olympics.
That's pretty impressive.
And so they were like, oh, well, okay.
Okay.
We'll let you do that.
So then you went to OU.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Had several scholarship options.
Right.
I didn't want to go to school. I didn't like school.
Right.
But my grandparents were like, you can still go to the Olympics, but you're going to have to go to school.
Right.
I was like, okay. So OU was closest. Yeah. At Stanford, Iowa, Ohio State, UCLA, can't remember the others. Those are kind of the main ones that went on recruiting trips, to those places. Right. And they were all fun. And I was like, well, this looks like a lot of fun, but still, academically, I'm out. Yeah. I didn't care. I just wanted to do gymnastics. Yeah. And picked OU, and they picked me. We picked each other, and got a full scholarship down there. How
did, once you got there, though, at some point you had to start engaging scholastically.
Yeah. It was weird, because, I was kind of one of those kids that I never studied, but I could always pass a test. Right. I'm not really good at memorizing stuff, I don't think, but somehow it just things, I understand things. Right. For whatever reason. And, but I also realized that at that time, you could not go to it was called USGF at the time. Right. If there was a USGF meet and a NCAA meet on the same weekend, really, because I was on scholarship, I had to go to the NCAA meet.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that because that was keeping me from advancing and getting to the Olympics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's why actually after 2 years, I gave up my scholarship and I came back home to train with my original coach.
Okay.
So I gave up a full scholarship, left OU, and came back home.
Yeah.
So I could go to the Olympics.
Because you knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't, getting a degree.
Right.
Like, I don't know how to do anything else anyway.
Right.
Just work out.
Yeah. So where were the Olympics held at that time?
That was actually in Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was our 96 Olympics. And it was crazy too because, I had no idea about any of this stuff, but in men's gymnastics, their peak is right around 20 to 22, 23.
Really? Okay.
Well, I was going to be 21 at the time.
Right.
I mean, it was like all the things like lined up for me to be there and to do it. But, I don't regret anything that has happened in my life pretty much that I can think of. And as cool as it would have been to be in the Olympics, that was the goal, be in the Olympics and be on the Wheaties box.
Right. Right.
So, neither one of those things happened, but I can't even imagine a better life than I've had.
Yeah. So what was it like training with the Olympic athletes, right? Because you push yourself to be better. Now you actually with the best in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really kind of bizarre how not that much different it seems like than if you're with any of your other friends doing anything else.
Okay.
Where there's intensity that's a little different. There is, the techniques and the skills and the things that we're doing are harder.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, we're all still having fun and, we're just kind of pushing each other and encouraging each other. Even though, like Valery Lyukin was one of the Russians that was kind of he was a little ahead of me, in age.
Right.
So he had already been to like the 88 Olympics and stuff like that. But like, he was like one of the guys that I really looked up to.
Yeah.
He was just phenomenal athlete. I don't really know how good of a person he was, or anything for a little while. But then whenever I did get to finally met him a couple of times, and I was like, man, he seems like a good guy too, And then now you look at his daughter and, just all the things that they're doing. It's like, oh, so the vibe was right.
Yeah.
Like he was a good guy and stuff. And so, and a great athlete, and just, listening to how they train.
Right.
Watching how they train, doing camps with different people in different countries at the Olympic Training Center and stuff. It's like you just start picking up little things. And it is those little things that the champions do a little bit different than you do whenever you just start doing a sport.
Yeah. We had an engineer outside his office. He had a sign that said that greatness isn't that big thing we do, it's the little things we do consistently every day.
Yeah.
All right.
So spot on.
That makes sense. I guess I never realized that at the Olympic training camp, you're actually training with all the different countries.
Yeah, it's not all the time like that, but there were times where they'd bring other countries in and we'd have like internal meets, or we'd, be doing a camp on different vaults, or something kind of specific, or strength training, or, things like that. But one of probably the most interesting things that I realized later in life that didn't make sense at the Olympic Training Center was there was literally like anything on the menu.
Right.
Like we had a cafeteria.
Yeah.
And you could eat whatever you wanted. We had cereal, milk, chocolate milk, like just whatever you wanted. Yeah. There wasn't like this regimen of this type of food. These diet. You got to have this kind of stuff. It was like, just eat what you want.
Well, I guess you're going to burn it off anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they were like decent things. It wasn't just always pizza, or like pasta, but there's a lot of pasta.
Right.
But we needed energy.
Yeah.
And like you said, we burned it off. We worked out 6 hours a day.
Right.
6 days a week. We were competing on the weekend. So you didn't have a whole lot of time for that to turn into anything but energy.
Yep. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in business and in life in general, right? If we hit a wall, we hit a barrier, something changes, and we end up having to reevaluate who we are, what we're doing, how we're going to approach it, right? So basically reinvent ourselves. So from the gymnastics to the fighting to the steel plate in your head to the bull riding, right, and to the stuntman and all and the music and all of that, it's been a constant cycle of reinvention. Right. So what drives you to do that though? Because you're not doing these one at a time.
Right.
For the
They
most
are
part.
overlapping. Yeah, some of them are overlapping. Some still overlap. I mean, the IT and the bull riding for the last 25 years is like parallel each other. And so it's like, you've got two different lives that you're living almost.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, there's other things that pop up. And so I've always thought as opportunities present themselves, not all opportunities are good ones.
Right.
Like you might feel like, this is the next step, this is what I need to be doing. But if things aren't in line, and even though it seems like it might be the right thing to do, it might not be.
Right.
And so again, having patience and not let me rephrase that, knowing when to strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there are times where you need to be patient and calm and wait. And then there are times that time is of the essence and you've got to move now.
Right.
Stunt world, it's like that.
Right.
If you get a job offer, you better say yay or nay right now, because if you wait 5 more minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right. That's one way. But like interesting you say about the reinvention part of it, I got my first black belt and second degree in karate.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I was intrigued by jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And there was a guy that came into town, and he was the first person in Tulsa that had a lineage for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Really?
And so, I told Mr. Cook, I was like, hey, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I would like to go over here and get this legitimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Right.
Cool. Like everybody's good. Bridges nowhere burned.
Yeah.
Everything's good. So I started training with the other guy. So we're, I went over there and I'm a black belt.
Right.
I've been fighting MMA for, I don't even know how long, probably 6 years already. Right. So my experience level is pretty high.
Right.
And he's like, well, this is jiu-jitsu, so white belt.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And like thinking back on that now, it's like, it didn't even faze me to go back to being a white belt.
Right.
Because I didn't want to assume that I knew something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to learn everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if I think I know something, and I mean, even right now, like I said, there's only a few things that I might speak up on.
Right.
But most of the time, I'm just going to continue listening because I want to hear what other people, like you can go into a room with 4 people.
Right.
And you're going to have 4 different stories of what happened in that room.
Yeah.
And they're all real.
Yep.
Because that's what the person perceived.
Right.
And so like, I want to hear like all the things so that I can get all the angles and be the best.
That makes sense.
Kind of thing. So it's pretty weird to go back to from a black belt to a white belt, like that. But like I said, it didn't even faze me. Okay, let's go. I'm here to work out and learn.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. So I think first time I knew that you went to fight and you came back, your ear had been partially ripped off and then sewed back on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, we talked a lot about the focus, right? It's not just adrenaline when you go in there. It's really focus and technique, and you're very intentional. And even then, you talked about the timing of the strikes, right? The timing of when you make your move, because the right move at the wrong time is the wrong move, right?
That's right.
So how has that helped you in other areas of your life? How has that mindset helped you with the bull riding and with the with just even IT work, or has it?
Yeah, I mean, your flow state understands nowadays about flow states, right? And so getting into the flow state is key, obviously. But the mental imagery and all the things that I learned in the from going to the Olympic Training Center has been usable throughout life, really, in all of those things.
Okay.
Ironically enough, one of the first books that they gave us or had us get at the training center was it was called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Really?
And then fast forward, 20 years or whatever, and I start riding bulls, and I find a mentor and a coach for that, and that guy's like, it's not all physical. You can't just get on bulls. You gotta mental imagery.
Yep.
And you need to get this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And I'm like, what? I have that book.
Right.
And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I've had it for like 20 years.
I may actually read it now.
Yeah, now I'm going to read it again. And I've got it right over there, actually. And I still have little markings in it, and stuff. Or just like my ninja book that's next to it.
Yeah. No, I mean, essentially, so you look around your room, right? We looked through a lot of your stuff earlier, right? The books that they're Ninja Mind.
Yeah.
Right? It's a constant learning process or reminder process.
That's what I was about to say. We forget things.
Yeah.
We don't use certain things.
Yeah.
And so you need to be reminded of those things.
Yeah.
Whether there's a purpose or not for it, that's just, again, being a consistent student.
Right.
You're always a student. And like I said, I just like to learn everything I can about whatever I'm doing. And just that way I have the best opportunity to be the best.
Right.
Like whenever I started riding bulls, I was taking advice from guys that had good intentions.
Right.
But they weren't great coaches, and they didn't really know exactly what to tell me to do.
Right.
It's like we've all heard songs, lift and reach.
Right.
Stay off your butt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you stay off your butt? You levitate? Like what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? I need some instruction.
So I remember the first time when I first got promoted as a director of ops at a manufacturing company, and my boss, named Jerry Spires, he had been promoted up to VP. So he promoted me up. And some things were happening, and some things that were done the way he liked them being done. Mm-hmm. And so I finally had to go to him and say, look, I know what you got. What I need to understand is what you were thinking while you got there. Right? Because it's that piece of it's the fundamentals that I have to have to be able to not just reproduce it, but make sure that we're getting the result that we want from that. Yeah. So, and we talked beforehand when we were down in your gym, and we talked about the barrel. Right, the working out and the mind, the barrel work, long before you ever get on a bull. Yeah, the importance of having that worked out.
Well, your mind is a muscle,
right,
and your body, if it's never been in a certain position, it needs to be put in that position so your muscles know what to do. I mean, it's not normal for people to want to get on bulls, right? But then even when and if they do. Yeah. It's not a normal thing for our bodies to do what our bodies need to do to ride a bull. Right. So you got to be safe.
You got to be
safe.
You got to be safe. You got to be tense enough to hold, but yet loose enough not to break.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. It's a whole reaction thing. I mean, that's the physics of riding, and which again, that's another similarity to jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Like I was telling you earlier, I went down to McAllister this last weekend with an old friend of mine that used to rodeo with. Right. And I was teaching him some stuff because he's new at jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, whenever you're, underhooking and you're throwing your leg over, stick your heel in them, just like it's your bull, whenever you're spurring a bull to get out of the well. Yeah. And he was like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So it was, it does translate over. Like, it's bizarre how much similarity there is with riding bulls and doing jiu-jitsu, right? Which, like I said, who thinks of that? Like, nobody does. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So 800 numbers won't get calling,
right? So is there a moment in a fight when when you're riding a bull or going in competition when everything just gets silent? Remember I think it was for Love of the Game, and where you get on the mound and you clear the mechanism, everything just right, similar to that.
That literally happens every time I get on a bull. Right. I can't think of a time. Well, there's probably been some times, but when I do well, right, the mind is clear before I ride. Yeah, because gymnastics, jiu-jitsu, bull riding, music, even. All the things, you are competing and you're performing, and there is anxiety and fear and all these things that no matter how many times you do them, you have to deal with them every time. Right. And I think, especially for riding bulls, because it is so dangerous, if you don't have that stuff and you don't have to deal with that stuff, you probably need to quit riding.
Right. But that's why so many drunk men and women get hurt when they jump on that mechanical bull.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, you're drunk anyway, so you're not helping yourself.
No.
But you don't know what you're doing to begin with, and if you have some sadistic individual that's running the bull,
that's running that thing. Well, it's funny because people will be like, "Hey, go get on that mechanical bull. Show us how to do it." No, not even close to the same. I'm like, that guy running that thing can make that machine do something that a bull can't do.
Yeah.
And like you said, if he wants to be a jerk, and especially if he thinks, oh, this guy's a bull rider.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nope. Yeah. I'll just stand back and watch.
All right. So I know you've torn your ACL, torn your MCL, probably more than once. You've got some plate work done in the head.
Mm-hmm.
You've had some ears partially removed and reattached.
Mm-hmm.
All serious injuries, right? But yet you still want to get up and get in and do it, which meant you had to go through the healing and the retraining and all of that. So what drove you to that, right? Because most people stop at pain, right? It's not the injury that hurts somebody, it's the fear of the pain that stops people for the most part.
I think that's twofold. And one of the things is from my original coach. And I remember whenever I broke, I didn't break it. No, I tore, I don't remember which one was first. Either, whatever. I broke my leg doing a triple off a high bar. I actually broke both my shins.
Oh, wow.
And I busted my head, and they put me in a wheelchair for a couple weeks, because I wasn't supposed to walk at all, yada, yada. And every injury that I ever had in gymnastics, he would say, well, come in anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm sure at first I was like, well, I can't do anything. Just sit there. And he's like, yeah, and you can watch.
Yeah.
And you can learn. Yeah. And also, I realize now, I'm like, well, if I was healthy, where would I be?
Right.
I would be there. So why do I want to retrain?
Yeah.
Why do I want to, go do something else? And then now I get into that habit, and now I got to get back into the habit of working out. So it's like, well, I'm just going to go in. So that's what started it. And so now to this day, even when I have my gym and people get injured or whatever, I'm like, you still come in.
Right.
I mean, don't use that as an excuse to get on the couch.
Yeah.
If you want to sit on the couch, just go do that right now while you're healthy. Don't wait till you're sore or, hurt.
It's easy to stop doing something that's harder to get back into.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you have, you have the January 1st, this is my commitment. I'm going to jump out and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And you launch in and then you sore muscles. So you stop going and suddenly you don't get back into it. Right. You see people do it at church. You see people kind of learning that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So that makes what you're saying makes perfect sense, right? Keep the rhythm going because you are going to learn and you're going to be committed to it.
And the second part of that is the goal.
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal? Well, I knew that my goal was the Olympics. Well, if I'm going to get to the Olympics, I got to trust and believe in this guy to get me there.
Right.
He's going to do his part. I got to do my part. My part is doing what he says.
Yeah.
And that is come in and watch.
Right.
And I mean, and that's huge. No matter what sport you do, it's kind of hard to put it into the IT world per se. I mean, it's not like you can really watch a lot of stuff to get better or watch yourself do IT work to get better. So that's not really a thing. But any sports or activity or anything like that, watching yourself do it, because you think your body is doing A, B, and C,
right? But
then whenever you see it on video, you're like, no, my brain said I was doing this,
right?
But no, I wasn't. Yeah. So it's a programming.
Yeah, it's the same way recording when you're speaking and when you're presenting or when you're talking, right? Mm-hmm. So often when you're in the middle of doing it, you're too close to it anyway. Right. So you have the coach, you have somebody from the outside who's observing, saying, yeah,
that's right.
So my golf game is atrocious. I love playing.
Sounds like mine.
I love playing, but it's atrocious. So we went out this weekend with my son, and first 5 holes, I mean, you thought I was Tiger Woods' lost son, right? And then for some reason, on hole 6, I'm getting ready to tee off, and I'm like, I was watching a YouTube video. And they said, do your arms this way.
Started changing stuff.
My son was like, why? Why would you change that? Because now that got stuck in my head.
Right.
And the rest of the, I was lost.
Just challenged the rest of the time.
But the whole time he's on the outside saying, no, what you're doing is working right now. You're just going to just work on head speed, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you need to be focused on. Don't worry about any of this other stuff. And I'm right in the middle of it, so I'm trying to make all these tweaks and changes and stuff, and just messed everything up.
It does. It will. I mean, it's the same thing in bull riding. You know, I mean, and a lot of times, even going back to watching yourself, unless it's something that's turned into like a habit that's habitual, where you are consistently doing the wrong thing, you don't always have to change something every time you mess up.
Right. That's
like
true.
You just messed up, like it happened.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't have to like go tweak it and change it and try to fix it. It's not necessarily broken. You just
because that may actually cause you to hyper focus on it and really mess other stuff up.
Yep.
Unless it starts becoming a habit.
Yep.
It becomes a habit, right? In golf, start lifting your head every time.
Right.
You got an issue.
Yep.
And then you have somebody on the outside, because you're still there just cussing and slamming your club around because you don't know what you're doing. They're like, keep lifting your head, dummy.
Yep.
Right.
They're like, we're telling you. You're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So I studied judo when I was a teenager, and my coach, he was phenomenal, because he could stand, he could watch, and he would know exactly.
Nice.
Turn your foot this way, just a little bit, just quarter of an inch. Try that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that worked. Not do that every time.
Yep. Just repeat.
Yeah. And then train your muscles to do it. So how old are you now? 50?
51.
You're 51 now. So I think you're the oldest card-carrying professional bull rider.
Well, so yes, in a way. So the records that I have right now are in the PBR.
Right.
And I am the oldest to qualify for the velocity finals and the oldest to qualify and be in the top 35.
Right.
There are other organizations where there are older guys that are competing.
Right.
But the difference is the PBR level of bulls is way different than anywhere else.
Well, you know the big difference to me? They're not on this podcast.
So true, that too. Fair enough. Yeah. So there are older bull riders. It's just
but not
like
PBR riders.
Not PBR bull riders.
Yeah. And if you're not a PBR rider, you're not anything.
Well, that's in my head.
That's what I heard.
You know, if I'm doing something like my MMA career, the UFC wasn't even invented when it started. You know, and so I was never in the UFC, but in my head, I'm like, I don't even want to call myself an MMA fighter because I wasn't in the UFC.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's what I tell people all the time. Back when I was younger, and we would fight, but it wasn't that, right? Yeah. So I don't know. It's just,
if I'm not competing against the best in the world and whatever it is, I don't disregard it. But I just don't have the same standard to it mentally. I'm just like, well, we'll still do it. We'll still have fun. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I hear even with bull riders, guys will tell girls that, they're bull riders and stuff. Yeah. Just so that they can get the girls. Right. And it's like, I don't even want to tell girls I ride bulls. Yeah. I'm not doing it for them. Right. I'm doing it for me. Yeah. Obviously, I'm still doing it 25 years later.
A lot more girls as the player.
No doubt.
Right?
That is no doubt.
But you're not even doing that for the girls. Right?
No.
You are really doing that for you. And when you walk in and you see the trophies that you collect, it makes sense. Right. It is about you. Because what I don't see is pictures of you with a bunch of girls.
Yeah. Right? No.
I see you on bulls. I see the Duke. I see your belts.
Right.
So when you started the American Ninja Warrior, when you first started competing there, you were one of the oldest then too.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there might have been a couple other older guys than me, but not many. And I don't know that there were any that were even in my seasons that I was on. But yeah, I was a little bit older there too.
And I'm not bringing all this up to make you feel bad about being old, because I'm a lot older than you are. I actually bring it up to ask you, what would you tell anybody who says, I can't start this because I'm too old. I can't start working out. I don't want to start jiu-jitsu. I don't want to do whatever just because I'm too old.
Well, I think there are some things that have happened in my life that have afforded me the ability to do some things that a person my age shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And I always preface advice with something similar to that, because there are a lot of guys that will message me, reach out to me on social media and be like, man, you've really inspired me to start riding bulls. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Well, number one, what have you done in the past that is sport related? How active are you? How old are you? And so if there's you know, a guy that's 45 and he's like been at a desk his whole life.
Yeah.
And his now goal is, I can be a bull rider like Venn. I'm sorry, but
Right.
you're not going to be.
Right.
Let's find a different goal for you.
Right.
Like, you know, so first I always like to, you know, just depends.
Yeah.
You know, if we're just talking about getting healthy, things, you know, having other aspirations and goals, I say action.
Yeah.
Take action. Like, you know, people are like, I don't know how you have the motivation to do all the stuff that you do. And to me, it's not motivation.
Right.
I don't have motivation. I have discipline.
Right.
I know if I want to get from here to there, I got to take action.
Right. That makes sense.
If I want a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I have to take action.
Right.
And like, you know, everybody talks about, you know, like you said before, January, everybody has their goals and their New Year's resolutions. And it's like, I have those every day.
Right.
I don't wait until the end of the year to start something.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to start it right now. Either I'm going to start it now, or it's just going to go on a list, and whenever the time is right,
Right.
and it seems like it's right. You know, the thing about it too is I do a lot of sports that are individual sports.
Right.
Even though that is the case, I have realized over the years that it is not just all about me.
Right.
I can't do it just by myself. You have to have a team of people,
True.
friends, you know, mentors, coaches. You know, there are more than one person involved in your success.
Right.
And so when you get around those people and the timing is right, then that's the time to take action. But again, if it's like working out, something that you can do yourself, then it's do it now. Be disciplined. I mean, I said this before, like to other friends that talk to me about relationships. I'm like, I don't know why you're talking to me about relationships,
Right.
but whatever. But even with that, love. You just like, if you're married, you decide to love that person every day. It doesn't matter how you feel.
Right. Oh, yeah. My wife and I, we laugh. Tammy and I, we laugh all the time. We've been married 38 years. We love each other unconditionally.
Right.
There's a lot of days we don't like each other.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly
Because
right.
That's the feeling. The love is the choice.
Exactly.
Right. And
That's
the
exactly
commitment is the choice. And it's the same in everything.
Exactly.
So when I have a young leader come up or somebody who wants to move into a leadership role, my first question is, what have you done to prepare yourself for this? Right. If to your point, right, if your whole time before you decided to be a bull rider was sitting on the couch eating bonbons and drinking beer,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly at 45 or 50, you say, ooh, I'm going to ride a bull.
This guy's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't understand. Since I was 5, I've been in a gym.
Yeah.
Working out, training my mind, my body, like all these things. So
at a cost.
mm-hmm.
Right. There's a cost to that. Not just your time, not just your energy, but your body.
Yeah.
At times your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Especially when injuries would happen and things.
Yep.
Because you're making it. You kind of glossed over, and it sounded like everything was all nice and cool when that happened. But I know it wasn't, because your identity was so wrapped up in what you were doing. Right. And suddenly you can't do that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I got my face smashed, that was where everybody was like, see, we told you you're too old. And I'm like, yeah.
How old were you though?
I was 25, 26.
25, 26 years later, you're still doing it.
Yeah. And, you know, I thought, you guys might be right. But the thing is, if I don't have somebody, like, I have to give myself a chance.
Right.
And in order to give myself a chance and to live and, you know, look at myself in the mirror and, you know, lay my head down at night with a clear conscience,
right,
I have to know that I had the right people in my corner teaching me, showing me, and mentoring me. And if then I'm not good at it, then I can stop.
Right.
But for some reason, it just meant so much to me to get the right coaching and be around the right people and learn how to do it.
Right.
Then that's why I'm still doing it. Because I mean, it's like, it's pretty basic, but I mean, again, it's just the fear, the anxiety, all the things you have to deal with. It's like, it does make me feel alive.
Right.
You know, I mean, I go in this office, you know, every day, and I do IT stuff, and it is not challenging.
Right.
But in some ways, mentally, it can be, you know, and then there are people that are challenging.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I'm kind of like, okay, like, how can I overcome this guy or this, this problem or whatever, but it's just not as extreme.
Right.
Obviously. So who knows what's going to happen next, but as long as I'm healthy, whenever I'm out of bull riding, I don't want to be somewhere else.
Right.
And as long as I'm still able to ride bulls, like, I don't see me stopping.
Right.
I mean,
but you're more than just bull riding, right? So
yeah.
I know that in the last rodeo, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did most of the bull riding stunts in that, right?
Yep.
Which that was awesome movie. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the last rodeo
Sure.
on Angel Studios, watch it.
Definitely.
It is definitely
Take a nap first, though. It's 2 hours.
It is, but you don't
realize.
You're going to want to take a nap while you're in it.
Not while you're in it.
No.
Yeah.
It is, and really, at your age, taking a nap, come on, man. So now my wife she would fall asleep immediately.
Right. Yeah.
But she even stayed awake for that one.
Nice. Good.
But no, it was a really good movie. It was well written, well acted. I forget the main actor,
Neil McDonough.
Neil McDonough,
Mm-hmm.
right? Love him.
Yeah.
And with what he brought, the whole homestead.
He's usually a villain
and
too.
all of that, right?
So him being the other side of it made it even better.
It did, right? But I think he brought a lot to it.
Yep.
And because the last thing we really saw him on was like Tulsa King, where he was a villain.
Right.
And then we saw him on Homestead, where
it was.
I'm not sure what he is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely up in the air.
Idiot half the time's what I called him. Right. Some of the choices they made.
Yep.
But he's still done a great job portraying that.
Right.
And then on here, just like a totally different side of him.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like, some of the conversations that I didn't have many, but some of the ones that I did have with him, and then the conversations with, producers and directors and stuff, it was a lot of him.
Right.
I mean, it was almost a reflection of him as much as it was anything else.
Right.
I mean, he, wrote it. Most of it. He wrote most of it.
Right.
But that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted to portray the family. He wanted to portray love and, overcoming family obstacles, right. The challenges that people have with each other.
Right.
And then, just throwing the bull riding in with it just kind of made sense because, both are life and death.
Yep. Well, and plus he wanted to make a movie where he actually got to kiss his wife.
And that too, yeah. And that's the final thing,
right?
Get to kiss your wife.
So what did you learn about yourself during the filming piece, right? Because that's a new chapter to your life. And you've done more movies than just that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've had friends that have been in the stunt industry my entire life.
Right.
Gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes to Florida.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Goes to Universal Studios. They start doing Water World.
Yeah.
And then they start the stunt world from there. So that's what a lot of them did. Huh. And they're my whole career in bull riding. They're like, oh, you need to be a stunt guy with us. Come do some stunts with us. And I'm like, that sounds fun, but I'm busy.
Right.
And then a couple years ago, one of my longtime friends, he was coming back to Oklahoma and was actually on an airplane with a producer and a writer who was writing 1,000 Tomorrows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so as soon as he landed, he called me and he was like, hey, I got this movie. It's a rodeo movie. Yeah. Bull rider. Colin Ford is the lead actor. Yeah. You can double him. You can train, everybody, be, cowboy and, all this stuff. And so he hooked me up with my first project.
Right.
And it was a rodeo project. Yeah. So that's where I got my Taft Hartley from that one. And what I kind of learned from that and Last Rodeo and everything else, I mean, I think I probably have, 11 or 12 credits now in literally a very short amount of time.
Right.
But the biggest thing about that is being a stunt person is not just about, oh, let's do some wild stuff.
Right.
Like, let's go jump off this building.
It's controlled and very intentional.
Yes, and very safe. Like the safety aspect of stunt work is one of the biggest differentiators from adrenaline seekers to stunt people.
Right. So what most of us know about stunt people is the fall guy.
Yeah,
right?
Great.
But even then you saw a lot of the safety element of what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and it's insane to think about how much work goes into setting that up so it looks like it's just accidental?
Well, and I was again afforded the opportunity to go to a car crash clinic.
Nice.
And a guy named Corey Eubanks was the one running it.
Yeah.
And I think there was 10 or 11 of us in his school.
Correct.
And, you know, he's the first person to ever jump the General Lee.
Right.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, like, he's been doing the game forever. Like,
Right.
he's an OG.
Right.
And, like, him and I clicked. It was great. And, you know, we got to flip cars and,
Right.
you know, understanding, you know, I mean, like, I have another, I mean, right over there's a 5-point harness that I won at the clinic because I got out of the car the fastest blindfolded.
Right.
So it was in the night, blindfolded, flipped a car, and whoever got out fastest won the 5-point harness.
That's pretty
And
cool.
yeah, you know, I mean, it's just neat, like understanding, seeing people with different, you know, different backgrounds, you know, and these people have a lot more accolades in
Right.
the business than I do. And learning, like, it's really cool seeing other people be so successful,
Yeah.
you know, in the industry and
Right.
stuff. And then again, realizing the difference in just willy-nilly going out and jumping off a, you know, bus or a
Right.
cliff or something versus the setup,
Yeah.
you know, the camera angle, the, you know, all the things that go into making it safe but believable.
No, that makes sense.
So
So I used to do rock climbing. I did a lot of face climbing, and you get complacent, right? After a while, and you start
Right.
thinking you're better than you are, or you just forget about the dangers because I've done this so often I have got hurt.
true.
And we were out in West Texas, and we were climbing up fossil hunting. Flavia, whatever. Don't remember the face right now.
Mhm.
But we were climbing up, going, and I stepped out on a ledge, and the ledge kind of shifted, and it was dusty, and I'm start sliding, and I'm just slamming with my hammer and catch myself,
Mhm.
and I'm hanging all over half. I'm hanging over this edge. You know, it's 150, 175 feet straight down to these jagged rocks.
Yeah.
Right. I would not have intentionally done it, but yet I did by not paying attention to what I was doing.
Sure.
Right. And I think we do that in life. When I was talking to that guy this morning and telling my wife the other day is a lot of people get where they get by accident or by opportunity, right? They show up, they're there, they're pleasant, somebody likes them, they say, hey, why don't you try this? And they don't think about it. They just step in and do it.
Right.
And then one day they wake up and it's like, what the crap's going on here, right?
Yeah.
This is not where I wanted to be. I did not want to be selling coke down here in Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But one choice after that's kind of an extreme angle. But
Yep.
but we see that when people get into positions and suddenly I'm not happy here. I don't want to be here, but I don't know how to back up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's impressed me about you is you're not afraid to back up.
Right.
It's because yes, you do like this, but you've grown to the point that it doesn't seem like that's your identity now. Right.
Right.
We call you the bull riding ninja, but you're not the bull riding ninja.
Right.
You're still Venn Johns.
Right. Well, I mean, and you say that about the whole, you know, kind of backing up thing. I opened the gym not really on a whim.
Right.
You know, I mean, like I had a goal and I needed that gym to really help me train.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, if it's going to help me train, I can also help other people.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody wants to be on the show.
Right.
But I know the quality of gymnastics and jiu-jitsu and like all the things that I can bring, you know, to training and learning to other people. You know, like you probably never been to a gymnastics gym and had coaching from a gymnastics coach. But if you were go to my gymnastics gym,
Right.
I'm sorry, my ninja gym, you would be getting taught certain aspects and moves and things that are from gymnastics. And what's funny is, you know, like it's called a lache.
Right.
When you fly, you got like a bar or something and you fly from one object to
Right.
another, right? You let go with both hands and then you catch something else. That's called a lache
Okay.
in parkour and in ninja. And when we would go to competitions, it was funny because everybody could tell my students because they all had a gymnastics swing and tap.
Right.
Whenever they would do laches
Right.
and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, they're from VA Ninja Warrior because Vin's a gymnast, so he's taught them, you know. And then if you look at somebody who has only done, like, let's say parkour,
Right.
they have a different method.
Right.
Good method, works.
Yeah.
just it looks different.
Yeah.
And so
Makes sense.
it's just funny though that they're always like, yep, those guys are from V8 Ninja Warrior.
Well, that's just like in martial arts, right? You could tell what school somebody came to
Yes.
by the, you know, by their
techniques
rhythm,
that they-
techniques, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So actually, one of my next questions was really about the vision behind your training gym, right? Your training facility, because it was more than just a gym. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, to help yourself,
Yeah.
but you poured more into it than that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just for you.
Yeah, there were so many angles of that gym that, it was financial pouring, it was mental pouring, it was emotional pouring.
Right.
It was I poured everything into it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely do love seeing somebody realize they can do something they didn't think they could do.
Yeah.
And I would have, like, Denise, she was like one of my favorite students. She was like 64.
Right.
And she brought her son, who was like 20 or 21, and they came in together, and neither one of them wanted to be on the show.
Right.
They just thought Ninja was cool,
Yeah.
and they just wanted to see what it was about. And then when we met and they started coming to class, she was like, well, I can't do a pull-up. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm like, Denise, see my rules up here?
Yeah.
One of them is can't is not in our vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's like I might not be able to do it yet,
Right.
or maybe I don't want to do it,
Right.
but it's not I can't.
Yeah.
Right. And so she was one of my favorites because, like I said, she was not able to do a pull-up.
Right.
When she came in, and within a few months of the little steps, like that was the thing.
Right.
That's the steps. Like we reverse engineer everything, and then you start, basically from the ground. Right? Like, what is the minimum thing we can do that's one tiny step to get to where we want to be?
Right.
So, like, if you want to do a pull-up, well, then you're going to have some strength in your hands.
Right.
You're going to have to, these little things. Yeah. And so I would have her do things that didn't really seem like they had anything to do with a pull-up.
Right. Yeah. Wax on, wax off.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But her attitude was perfect because she was like, I trust you. You're my coach.
Yep.
I'm going to do these things and I have a goal. And so it was just like this ironic, like full circle kind of thing where I'm like, that's exactly how I felt about my coach.
Right.
And then I was able to do that and help people do the same thing.
So business is the same way, right? You come up with a vision for what you want to be or what you want to accomplish, and then you break it down into little steps. Mm-hmm. And each step is intentional because it is to get you to here. It may not be a direct step toward it.
Right.
But it is the prep that's needed, right? Sometimes you can run 10 feet straight forward before you have to run 5 feet right.
Do a side step or something.
And so it makes perfect sense what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really funny because she was the most encouraging person too.
Right.
And that was the thing. It's like I wanted everybody to encourage everybody.
Yeah.
Like I even had to kick kids out of their birthday party.
Oh, wow.
Because they were not following my rules.
Right.
And my rules are you don't make fun of people.
Yeah.
Like if this person is not able to, tries to do something and they fail at it and they don't succeed that time.
Right.
We're not laughing at them.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, hey, maybe we need to do that a little bit different. Like put your foot over here like this and like, let's try it again.
Yeah. So one of the things we honor, even with our kids, is we honor accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And we lose sight of the fact that really should be honoring the effort. Right? Because, to your point, you may not be able to do that pull-up or may not be able to do 10 pull-ups. By the way, I saw that video of you with the Marines. That was pretty impressive.
I can't believe that thing got over 2 million views.
Whose dad was this? Whose dad is this, right?
Right.
But right, so I may not be able to do that, but I can start taking the steps to I can put the effort into it. Mm-hmm. So if I encourage the effort, then you encourage me in the journey instead of just encouraging me when I get there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That is kind of a little bit of the cliche part of it too, where it's like, enjoy the journey or whatever. Well, we say embrace the suck.
Yeah. I use that one all the time.
It's like, the journey's not always the funnest part because there's work involved. Yep. There's failure involved. Yep. There's letdowns. There's all the things that are involved in that. But again, without those, how do you know what's happy?
Yep.
And then on top of that, if you didn't have to struggle to get to where you want to go, how proud are you going to be of it, or how good is it going to make you feel to do it? I mean, if everything is just easy,
Right.
anyway, I mean, it's like Mr. Cook told me one time. He said, people that don't pay for anything or that get everything for free don't value it.
Right.
So
That's true. And if you don't have to work for it, then are you really stretching yourself? Are you really pushing yourself
Right.
to your limit?
who said it? Something about the caterpillar. Was it a caterpillar? There was a little saying, you know, it's like you got to go through this pain and you got to break out, you know, and change.
Yeah.
And change includes some pain sometimes.
Change. In fact, you're not going to change in a place you're comfortable.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be pushed to that zone, right? And everything in life.
Right.
And even the first law of physics, an object at rest tends to stay at rest.
That's right.
Unless it's acted upon by that outside force, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that outside force is just that desire to be different.
Agreed.
I'm tired of being out of shape. I'm tired of being heavy. I'm tired of not making this pay. I'm tired of not having this degree. I'm tired of not being able to beat Venn on a jiu-jitsu mat, right? That kind of thing.
Yep.
And then you push to get that out.
Yeah. People ask me, a lot of times people will message me on social media and be like, hey, can you give me a workout routine? And I'm like, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
And if they're like, oh, well, you know, I don't do this or don't have time for this, I just need like something to like get my belly on, or,
Right.
you know, bull riding something, whatever. And I'm like, well, if you're not doing anything now, why do you want me to spend my time and effort and pour into you when you're not even pouring anything into yourself?
Yeah. That's what we said, right, with young leaders. We can identify where you want to be, right? You can tell me where you want to be. I can help you make a plan to get there, but you have to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing anything now to get yourself ready, even to get the plan together, then why would I do it?
Yeah. I'll literally kind of going back to the discipline thing. Some people, I'll tell them, okay, well, how about this? How about you give up Coke or Pepsi or whatever for a month?
Yeah.
That's all you want me to do? Yeah. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So many people just can't do that because they're like, well, you know, I had a bad day.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's an excuse.
Just crutch an excuse.
There's a reason why it's okay for me to do it this time.
Right.
It's just one time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Like, commit.
Yeah.
Like, be disciplined and commit to yourself.
Right.
Of all people. Like, you know, if you can't even commit to yourself, you're not going to commit to anybody else or to anything else.
Yeah. Same as when you're working out, same as in music, right?
Yeah.
We've had to work out a schedule, so we know we're going to spend an X amount of time working on our music, working on either recording or interviewing somebody or doing the editing on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certain amount of time writing, all of that, because it's just part of doing it. And if you don't do it, it's hard to get back into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And I think it's part of that. Some of it's that chase for relevance, right? We want to make sure what we're doing actually has purpose and intent behind it.
Sure.
And when we don't do it and we don't see that immediate consequence for not doing it, then suddenly it's like, well, okay, I guess it doesn't matter anyway if I do it.
Right.
So I was talking to a guy named Terry Gerard. He's going to be on an upcoming podcast, and he's a homesteader.
Okay.
And we were talking about, you know, he's talking about, you know, wanting to go do certain things, and, you know, he has to be out cutting the wood and, you know, getting the wood prepared and all that because winter's coming. Well, later when you're talking to him, you realize that wood he has to prepare is next year's wood. It's not this year's wood, right?
He's on it.
But you have to think about it, and you have to have it laid out.
Yep.
And I think life is a lot that way. So when you're working with somebody young, whether it's in your gym or whether it's at work or wherever it may be, and you see their potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they know their potential, but they don't want to put that effort into it. That's heartbreaking.
It is. I mean, it doesn't even register that, you know, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't want to do everything.
Right.
But the things that I choose that I want to do, it's like there is no way I'm, like, it's okay that I am not the world champion bull rider.
Right.
Right. Like, do I want to be? Absolutely.
Was it Argentina?
Honduras.
Honduras.
I was a Honduran national champion.
Yeah.
Yes. But, you know, if I'm not the PBR world champion, even though that is a goal,
right,
it's still on the list.
Yeah.
but it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, I can be realistic.
Yeah.
I'm also realistic that it could happen because I know that I am physically just as good as anybody riding right now.
Right, because you just made the finals in the
Yeah, we got another finals in the BBB that it's qualified for last week. And I mean, if I don't do that and be a PBR world champion, I'm still going to be happy.
Right.
Because I love riding bulls.
You do,
I love traveling.
And you're not champion because you didn't give it your all.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And you and I both know the difference between the champion and the second place guy could be the bull, right?
Yes.
It could be it's just one good ride.
That's right.
And you never know.
That's right.
I'm rooting for you.
I mean, like I said, it can happen technically, but stunt world may pick up.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
It just might not end up being high enough on my goal list.
Yeah. Well, because there's conflicts, right? Because we were talking and the workout, right?
Yeah.
During the filming and everybody's going to go do the workout. Well, you couldn't be there, but you had to go do something else.
Yep.
Right.
So now and that's kind of where my crossroads are coming into play, where stunt coordinators and the directors and people that I'm working with in the stunt world, if they hire me for a job, I am committing to not going to bull riding events before that event, before that project, so that they're not expecting me to perform and then me go get hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though I do it for a living and I'm doing it for money and I'm doing it for the love of it, I know that I'm committing to them and they're committing to me.
Right.
So I'm going to commit. Okay, well, I just won't go to bull riding.
Back to that discipline thing.
Yeah.
But I can't carry everything all at one time.
Yeah.
So what am I going to choose to carry?
And dude, there's a bull riding every weekend or every day pretty much. So it's not like I'm, going to miss a bull ride and that's the last one.
How do you, and I know we're starting to get close here, but how do you motivate that individual that wants to do, but yes, having a hard time finding that first gear?
My thing is write something down.
Yeah.
For me anyway, and I don't know if it was something I was taught, but if I write it down, it kind of gives it more of a real feel.
Yeah.
Like I can think about stuff all day. We all think about things that we shouldn't be thinking about, bad thoughts like I'm going to get jerked down. Bull's going to smash me. He's going to step on me. Like all these things can happen. And I respect those things that they can happen. But like, again, if I want to be a world champion, I have to have written it down. I have to then, again, reverse engineer it. How do I get there? Okay, well, I gotta be, this champion and I gotta win this and then I gotta, do this. And so, like you said, sometimes with bull riding, especially, I can't control everything.
Right.
So, what can I control?
Right. And
I write down those things that I can control. Well, I can control whenever I wake up in the morning if I get up.
Right.
Or do I hit the snooze?
Yeah.
I particularly hit the snooze button, but it's not so that I can go back to sleep.
Right.
It's so that I can do mental imagery. So I'm getting on bulls at 6:30 in the morning in my head.
Yeah.
And so it's safer.
Right.
And I can also do it while, it's just mental imagery. I mean, I'm getting on 10, 12, 15 bulls every morning.
Right.
And then whenever the alarm goes off again, I get up.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of bad sometimes because I've had some old gymnastics friends that will call or text and they're like, man, how do you get up every day? Like, aren't your knees hurt or your shoulders hurt or like whatever? I'm like, feel bad because no, nothing hurts. Right. Which that's genetics, that's workout, that's, I take care of myself. I mean, everybody's like, oh, you ride bulls and you jump off cliffs and you do all these things, but I also take care, I recover.
Right.
Like, I mean, you see, like I got everything you can have at the house.
Yeah.
I got red light. I had a cryo chamber at my gym. I have Normatec compression over there. I have, all the massage guns and the stem machines and the, infrared, all the things. Right. And those are important. And I used to think, well, I don't want to do those because that makes me feel like I'm getting older.
Right.
But then I think back, I'm like, wait a minute. When I was in college, every time we got done working out, we went to the training room and we did ice baths and we did icing their shoulders, or we did something, stretching, and all kinds of stuff to recover. So that's super important.
It is.
And it's discipline too.
Yeah.
Because that's not that fun to do recovery stuff. But again, going back to what you say to somebody is start with writing something down.
Yeah.
Write anything down. Write something down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I'm going to get up at 7:00 every day for the next month.
Yeah.
Then get up every day at 7:00 and don't have an excuse for it. Like, find something small that you have a very good chance of being successful at, because the more smaller successes that you have, the stronger mentally you're going to become.
True.
And then the next time you're like, okay, I'm going to write this down. Now it's a little bit bigger deal, and I'm going to do that.
Right.
But consistency and discipline with doing something that is getting you that direction of your goal is what needs to happen.
Right. And a marathon doesn't start with going out and running a marathon.
Yeah.
Right. So it is those small steps, those small victories, and everything in life.
And it kind of stinks because, like you said before, those little things don't always like make you feel like you did much.
Right.
But if you're consistent with those small things, and then after a period of time, you look back and you're like, dang, I haven't had a Coke in a month.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even miss it now.
Right. Yep.
Great. Okay, what's next? Now we're moving.
Yeah. I gave up soda and carbonated beverages 38 years ago.
Wow. Nice.
Right. Because one day I was just tired of it. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah. And it's expensive.
Well, at the time,
Financially and health.
I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I was just thinking, I think I'd read something about it weakening the bones or something. I said, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And so 38 years later, I still don't.
Yeah.
And it just became it's convenient to stop and grab a soda. Well, it's just as convenient to stop and grab a bottle of water. Right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So the same way when I got ready to, when I used to dip, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I quit dipping, same way, I put it down and didn't pick it back up.
Right.
Now there's some things like cinnamon rolls I can't do that with because I still have a problem with that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But
I mean, we've got to have something.
But it's not that I can't. I choose not to.
Choose not to. Yeah.
Right. I choose not to.
Yep.
But
that's all good. I know. I literally will have, like, I probably have a bottle of Coca-Cola in there right now that has been in there for at least a year.
Right.
Because I literally will just, like, if I'm having pizza sometimes, I just need a sip of it.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll just have a sip.
So mine, around cinnamon, especially if I can just smell it, I'm okay.
Right.
If I can pull and take a sniff of it, I'm done. If I'm craving cookies, if I make cookies, give them away, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I feel like that's kind of part of the challenge also that I give myself. It's like, if I want that pop and I can take one drink of it and be done, that's discipline.
Yeah, it is.
Because when I was cutting weight, which I don't do anymore, but when I was cutting weight, I would, I love M&Ms.
Right.
And so what I would do is I literally would eat hard-boiled eggs and tuna fish and some vegetables.
Right.
And then of course my supplements, to make sure it wasn't like gonna die. But outside of that, every night I would let myself have one
M&M. Yeah.
Because it's not going to hurt me.
No. And I bet you took your time eating that one M&M.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
What?
So Jerry Lewis, I remember one of his movies where all he had was a bean and him sitting there eating a bean like it was a piece of steak.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I felt like whenever I was cutting weight. I was like, one M&M.
One M&M. Yeah. So
tough.
All right. So what legacy do you want to leave? Do you even think about legacy?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily really think about legacy for me, probably because I'm so like in the moment of right now.
Yeah.
Which is not always the best way, because you do need to think about the future, and you do need, I mean, I do have a son.
How old is he now?
And yeah, he's 29.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, he lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. And, he's as successful as he can be right now.
Right.
What I would, obviously, parents always want more for their kids, kind of thing. But I mean, I think I don't have a financial legacy of any stretch.
Right.
I mean, COVID, all that stuff. I mean, like I said, I poured everything into the gym. I had to sell all of my grandparents' gold, guns, jewelry,
Right.
like everything, just to like pay the rent, blah, blah, blah. You know, everybody's got the same problems in that aspect. But, you know, so like I'm coming back, but I don't know that I'll ever be a millionaire or a multimillionaire or whatever.
Legacy's not money.
And so like and the only reason why I kind of bring up the money side of it is like, I don't even have a trust. I don't, you know, like I don't have some of the things that like you can kind of put into place,
Right.
For if you're going to do a foundation or be a philanthropist or,
Right.
you know, anything like that. And it's like, you know, things take money to do, even to help people.
Right.
It's not always, I mean, we can go get food and, you know, and help people in all different types of ways. But in my mind, like a legacy is something that is some sort of an institution, whether it's financially or whatever, but it's like big enough that it's like helping people,
Right.
like I did in my gym.
Right.
And so since I don't think I'm going to have the financial means to have it that way, I feel like my legacy should be, or could be, something like you kind of said already about, dude, this guy like never let anything stop him from what he wanted to do. You know, and if that's the thing that people remember me by, as like, well, you know, I mean, I did all the things that I thought were cool, and that, you know, I live by the 51-49% rule, which is if there's a 51% or better chance
Right.
that whatever I'm about to do
It's not going to kill you.
is I'm going to win,
Right.
be successful, and not hurt anybody doing it,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do it.
Right.
Or try it, at least.
Yeah, we saw a video the other day, and it was they were pulling a boat around behind a 4-wheeler, right? And the guys on there talking about Gen Xers. No, do not do it. And I laughed because I said this the other day. Is I saw that the first thing I thought was I want to do that.
Yep.
Right, and my wife's was like, no, you're not gonna do that.
I know, man. That's exactly right, though.
But honestly, I think I would. Right?
What?
Even I'm almost 60 years old, but I would still get out there and do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
why not?
Yeah, it was going to hurt. I'll probably break something. I may, but
Well,
there's just something there that drives and said, push the envelope.
well, I mean, you know, most everybody came into the world with not a perfect body, but a pretty good body. Right. If I get put down whenever I die and my body is in as good a shape as it was.
Oh, you didn't live.
I didn't live. Yeah. So like, there's got to be some scratches and some
Yeah.
broken stuff, and,
Oh yeah.
you know, biceps that don't look right. And,
Right.
you know, whatever.
I like when they take X-rays of my arms and my legs and my feet, and they're like, "Oh crap, what happened?" Well, life. Yeah.
I was having fun.
Yeah. I mean, from
Doing
2
stuff.
to 21, I broke a bone every year. Right, a major bone. Some because I pushed the envelope, and some because somebody else pushed the envelope for me.
Right.
But it was always that, right? It was riding the bikes. It was the climbing. It was the fighting. It was doing something, stretching it out.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, you broke your arm, now you got to quit. No, you heal or find something else to do while that's healing.
Yep.
And then if you get tired of waiting, you rip the cast off and go on anyway.
That's right.
And that's stupid. Nobody do that.
Right. Yeah. We're not condoning that.
But I heard that people do that.
Right.
And
It's funny you say that, because whenever I was in gymnastics, I had my cast on my leg.
Yeah.
And when you do a dismount off of any apparatus,
right.
If you don't stick it, right, you get 1 to 5/10 deduction.
Yeah.
So like if you were to do a dismount off of high bar and you fall on your butt,
right,
that'd be 5/10.
Okay.
Right. So coach was like, well, we can still go to this meet and you'll just take 5/10 deduction on every thing that you do on the dismount.
Land on the butt.
So I would just I literally did a triple off of high bar,
right,
and over rotated it and landed on my back and took the 5/10 deduction with a cast on my leg.
But you still competed.
And I still competed. Yep. But that was because of him, you know. I mean, he was the one not pushing me, but he was just like, dude, you can still do this. Yeah. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. No, that's fun. That's fun.
So, you know.
Yeah. Hey, brother, we are really out of time.
Fair enough.
I appreciate you giving me this time here today.
Yeah.
But before we kill it, though, any last words? Anything else you want to say?
I mean, you know, it's I think the thing that I like everybody to just realize or know is that, you know, everybody's capable of doing something and being successful.
Yeah.
You may not know what it is yet, or you may think you know what it is, and that may not be for you, but like,
Right.
you know, the whole don't give up, keep searching, find your talent, be passionate. It's like I told my son,
Right.
I don't care what you do, as long as you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Find something that you're passionate about. He loves music. He's not an athlete.
Right.
Great. I don't care. You don't have to be a gymnast. You don't have to be a bull rider.
Yeah.
He plays music. He writes music. He edits music. He plays
Oh,
guitar.
nice.
He plays drums. He's immersed in music,
Right.
and I love it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. So that's the thing. Find a passion.
Yeah.
And be passionate about it.
Cool. All right, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Lead Well, Live Whole. And listen to Venn, right? Discover your passion and understand that you're not too old. It's not too late. Figure out what you want to do, make a plan, and take the first step. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on Lead Well, Live Whole. If this added value to your journey, share it with a friend and subscribe. Until next time, lead those you serve well and live your life whole.